So I decided to remake a KLX250 versus WR250F video, mostly due to YouTube causing me to overwrite the audio, and unfortunately nothing can really be heard. On top of that, I also have experiences with many bikes, and of course now that I have been riding for over a year, I now can provide with better feedback. Not to mention, I still remember what it's like to be a very new rider. Now, I remember I started dirt biking because I wanted to explore things around me, and I know the only way to do that is with a plated dirt bike or dual sport. See, my very first bike was a KLX250, and I never had any knowledge of any other forms of two wheels. It was just my KLX250, and that's it, not even mountain bikes. I wasn't sure what was good or what was bad, if there was such a thing as a light bike or a heavy bike, better suspensions, firmer suspensions, all that was in the cloud for me. Until I borrowed a WR250F from someone I met on the trails. Right there and then I realized the weight difference, and not to mention the power. The power of the WR250F was incredibly gentle and linear, almost like the KLX250, but think of it this way, the linear delivery keeps going when you ask for it, and does not pause when the power of the KLX250 can't match the terrain you are riding. Now keep in mind, I do ride in elevations above 10,000 feet. Now the WR250F, it's not snappy, it's not scary like a Beta 350 RR, which would be quick to put you in the hospital if you are a fairly inexperienced rider. Now, being what I am now, if I would have done it all over again, I think the WR250F would have been a great beginner's bike to learn on and grow without breaking the bank. Now, you have to realize, I am in Colorado where we can play dirt bikes. We have tons of trails and also tons of single track, so my emphasis is mostly trail riding. Yes, originally I wanted to explore easygoing forest roads and never wanted to do anything technical and never wanted to challenge myself. And I was wrong, so that is something you guys really need to ask yourself. The more seat time I put in, the better I just wanted to become, the more trails I wanted to conquer and challenge, and the more single track I wanted to explore. Which leads me to, what bike should you start off with? The KLX250 or the WR250F? I know it's a dual sport versus dirt bike type of video, but the reason I picked the WR250F versus the other 250s is because you can usually find a cheap WR250F for about the same price as a KLX250. Not to mention, they are known to be very reliable as well. The guy lent me his WR250 had over 10,000 miles, which is a ton if you're mostly a dirt rider. So in my recommendation and what I have been through, if you have a naturally competitive side with yourself, you enjoy more trails versus street, or plan on riding quick trail hops, to your next trailhead, or possibly just need to hop on the road for a quick 30-40 minutes to get back to your truck, I would have went with the WR250F. But you might say, but the KLX250 has better service intervals. It's more comfortable on the road, and it already comes plated. Well, yes and no. Believe it or not, I prefer the WR250F on the road because the power is right there to get you up 60 to even 70 miles an hour on the back roads if needed, while the KLX250 will struggle reaching 65 miles an hour and higher if you live in a higher elevation state. And as far as maintenance goes, I change my oil regardless every 4 or 5 rides on the KLX250, which amounts to the same as a performance dirt bike. Now, you may say that's a waste of time, but if you think about it, it's about 2 months for the average person riding on trails. And of course, oil is cheap nowadays. Now, don't get me wrong, I am mostly a trail and enduro rider.
It's definitely getting intense now. It's like, damn, why didn't I record in the right moment?
Now, don't get me wrong, I am mostly a trail and enduro rider. Now, if you are mostly hitting back roads with a lot of pavement, looking for something to commute to work with, and it's mostly city speed limit, but you still want that aggressive nature to off-road for the weekend warrior on the trails, a KLX250 would better be suited for you. The KLX250 can really handle some serious trails versus other 250 dual sport models. To me, the KLX250 was the most off-road oriented with the exception of the WR250R, which is superior to the KLX250, just with a hefty price tag. In the end, it all comes down to three things. Do you want to trailer your bike? Are you more of a trail rider versus a street rider? And how often do you plan on hitting the roads and how long? As for myself, I once thought I was never going to do hard enduro stuff, or yet alone single track. I was just going to putt around the easy flat forest roads and call it good. If I would have known I would have been a serious trail rider, the WR250F would have been the go-to bike for my needs. I rarely find myself riding on the streets anymore and mostly just trailer my bikes to their trailheads and ride from there. Yes, we do hop on the roads to get back, but in my opinion, the maintenance schedule for the KLX250 is not really needed for this type of riding regimen. Either way, I hope this really helps some of you guys make your decision whether a dual sport or an entry-level dirt bike will be better suited for you. If you guys like my content, go ahead and subscribe. Definitely hit that bell button. It definitely helps my channel out. That way you can check out all the trails I ride, such as Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, and all the other neighboring states. And I'll catch you guys on my next video.